You don't want to be around me because I voted for fascism. No fair. I'm coughing on you with COVID, but you want me to wear a mask for your safety? No fair. My body, my choice. Well, here's an alternative thought. Make your own dinner, MAGA. Make your own sandwiches. Wipe your own tears. Troll amongst yourselves with Elon and leave us alone. You got your heart's desire, the president you dreamed of and worship instead of Jesus. And this time, you didn't even have to storm the Capitol, smash the windows, or try to kill police officers or issue death threats to poll workers. See? You did it just by voting this time. Congrats. You got your way. And he even got away with breaking the law. Yay. But if you expect the 73 million who voted for the prosecutor, not the felon, and particularly the 92% of black women who voted for Kamala to give you a cookie for your vote, a trophy, a hug, a high five, you might be asking too much. If we want to eat with you, we will. But if we just want some peace over the holidays and we don't want to put up with your trolling while we eat our tofurkey, get over it. Stop acting like we owe you. And for God's sakes, stop whining. It's embarrassing. Our Thanksgiving, our choice.
A few moments later.
My show had value and that, I'm sorry, that what I was doing had value. And in the end, I'm sorry, I try not to cry on TV. And I think this is kind of like me on TV, so I apologize. And then it mattered. I see Karen is there and she's been texting me as well. And so what I will just say is that in the end, thank you. Where I land is that the moment of guilt that I felt that I went hard on so many issues, whether it was the Black Lives Matter issues of a young baby or a mom or a dad that was killed, or when we opened up people's eyes to the fact that Asian Americans were being targeted and not just Black folks, or went hard for immigrants who've done nothing but come to this country like my parents did and try to make a life and defended them, or whether we've talked about what the president is doing that is subversive to the Constitution, that is injurious to our liberty, defending books that people find inconvenient, that Nicole Hannah-Jones put into our spirit, that we need to understand 1619 as the real founding of this country, whether it's talking about any of these issues. And yes, whether it's talking about Gaza and the fact that we as the American people have a right to object, to little babies being bombed. And where I come down on that is I'm not sorry. I am not sorry that I stood up for those things, because those things are of God. And I'm a church girl too, and those are the things that I was taught were of God. And so I'm not sorry. I'm just proud of my show.
Finally. I never really thought she would have made it this far along. But yes, finally, another race hustler gone. They got rid of Tiffany Cross, Don Lemonade, Joy Reid. I mean, who's next, right? Who's next? I mean, this is so satisfying to witness this. And on Black History Month, they got rid of her on Black History Month. How iconic.
The big news tonight will be Joy Reid's final show on MSNBC. Single tear, white woman tears happening right here, Joy. She was officially fired over the weekend because she's a racist, horrible news anchor with no ratings. And that's really been the truth for a long time. MSNBC's under new management, and I guess they decided to come to grips with reality. The truth is, this is very sad news for us, as she's provided so much material over the years. I feel the way I felt when Brian Stelter got fired, but he came back, and you never know. I'm sure Joy Reid will wind up doing something where we will continue to get to respond to her absolutely insane POV.
Yeah, she'll probably be back, just like Don Lemon. They're going to be back doing their own podcast on YouTube, just like us. They're going to be just like regular YouTubers and doing street interviews on TikTok. That's what she's going to do, just like Don Lemon.
Let me just say to Megyn Kelly, in my 30-some years as a journalist and my 50-some years as a person of color, go fuck yourself. Okay? I usually don't like to talk about her because she's one of those people. She thrives on it. She has built the second part of whatever of her career on being a troll. So this is what Megyn Kelly said about Joy Reid, right? And remember, Joy Reid is a woman. Megyn Kelly is a woman. She's supposed to be all about women and, you know, supports women. Okay, so this is what she said. Remember when Joy Reid laughingly mocked white women tears as pathetic and offensive to her? Who's crying now, Joy? Good riddance to the absolute worst person on television, and shame on NBC for letting it go on this long. And she has a, you know, she is an axe to grind when it comes to MSNBC. And also, she, you know, this whole, she's racist, right? It's just, I'm going to give you the evidence. Supposedly learned from it and then spent every day after apologizing for it and being fired for it, then spent every day proving the point that she is a racist. And not very supportive of women. If you look, all you have to do, the evidence is in her Google search and what she says about women and how she calls them out all the time.
We do not care.
The worst person. No, Megyn Kelly. The worst person on television was fired from NBC in the Today Show a few years ago, and that's Megyn Kelly. That's the worst person who's not on television anymore, is you. That's the worst person who's not on television. So hurrah for that. NBC did something good with that. You know why? I like to give proof of things, evidence. Like when I said Donald Trump, the president of the United States, was racist, it wasn't my opinion. This isn't my opinion about Megyn Kelly. The evidence is there. I'm going to show you the evidence of Megyn Kelly, and that's just as I showed you the evidence of Donald Trump.
Yeah, there's no evidence of Donald Trump being racist, and we do not care what you have to say, Don Lemonade. We do not care. You guys are just funny to watch and listen to because it's just pure comedy and entertainment at this point. Nobody listens to you guys for any serious political takes whatsoever. That's why they're getting fired, because they suck at their jobs. Nobody's watching them. There's no viewership. The ratings are down. And she spews nonstop racism. So who wants to watch that? And if they're trying to shift their gear over there at MSNBC and trying to build their viewership, and if they're losing liberal viewers, bro, of course they got to shift. They got to make some changes. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. They were doubling down on their Trump derangement and lost liberal viewers. So you think they're going to ask her to keep doubling down on that? No, they're going to get rid of her. And that's what happened.
So I was debating a Trump supporter last night, and he told me he was offended when I said it's embarrassing if you voted for Donald Trump, that I think you shouldn't proudly admit that to people. He was very upset that I said that. And it made me think about that statement. Is it embarrassing to vote for Donald Trump? And my conclusion is yes. Yes, that is incredibly embarrassing. There are plenty of people out there who don't really keep themselves informed on politics. They don't pay attention. They're busy. They're working a job, whatever. Those people, like, I'm not really talking about them. I'm talking about the people who are proudly going out there wearing the MAGA merch saying, yeah, I voted for Donald Trump and I love him. Now, that is embarrassing. It's like humiliating. Like, why would you... Why would you advertise that? If you voted for somebody who's a convicted felon, somebody who's been found liable for attacking women, someone who committed extensive business fraud, has been indicted in other jurisdictions, bullies people, mocks people, all of that stuff. If you voted for that and you're proud of that, I think that's embarrassing. And I'm doubling down. Stay offended. I don't know.
Yeah, no, Harry, you're so wrong. It's not even funny, bro. Nobody that voted for Donald Trump is embarrassed. Matter of fact, people that voted for Kamala Harris are the ones that are embarrassed. I don't see anybody proudly boasting that they voted for Kamala Harris. I do see, and I've seen multiple videos of Kamala Harris voters saying that they were wrong, that they were brainwashed, and that they fell for the okie doke. I've seen that. I have yet to see any Trump voter come out and say they regret their vote. I haven't seen that at all. It's just projection. That's all this is. This is just projection. They're embarrassed to be a Democrat. It is embarrassing to be a Democrat right now. I mean, nobody wants to admit that they're a Democrat unless you're like a Democrat shill like Harry. The average Democrat voter is embarrassed to say that they're a Democrat because the Democrats are a failing party. They're on a decline every single day. There is no reviving these people because they keep doubling down on their nonsense. So there is, I mean, Embarrassed? Come on, Harry. You're so wrong. It's not even funny, dude.
I feel bad for them coons in the White House who are in there tap dancing for massa, wearing bow ties, shinning and grinding, laughing like nothing is funny. But I ain't afraid of the spooks that sat at the door. These runaway slaves hiding in the White House gonna throw my picture up thinking that I'm gonna be afraid.
Yeah, him referring to these black conservatives as the runaway slaves is very ironic and funny because if you think about it, they technically did run away from the Democrat plantation. So he's technically right. The black conservatives are the former slaves of the Democratic Party. They were in shackles. That's what it was. Now they're the runaway slave. They've ran away from the plantation. And they just don't, these people don't see it. And oh my God, just sitting there and insulting people like this at your church. At your church? Come on, man. This is sick. This guy is sick.
Again, I came to tell white supremacists. I came to tell MAGA. I came to tell white privilege. We coming, we coming, we coming. We coming, we coming. God said, when you give me glory, I'm going to run them out of the State Department. If you give me glory, I'm going to run them out of Congress and run them out of Senate. If you give me glory, I'm going to run them off of your job and run them off of your classroom. I need you to take your neighbor's hand and say, neighbor, we got to shout like we got faith.
Yeah, it's plain and obvious that this guy is probably trying to make another political run here. He's a failure. He's a complete failure. And he's sitting there talking about public enemy number one being white supremacists. I guarantee you he's never done a sermon talking about the black thugs. He's in Atlanta, first of all. The black thugs that terrorize the black community every day. Every single day they're shooting up each other, robbing and killing each other. He's not doing a full sermon talking about how destructive that degenerate side of the black community is. He's not doing that, I guarantee you, especially in a place like Atlanta. That's where he needs to be preaching that type of sermons is, hey, our own people are destroying our own communities. Our own people are killing our own family members. Your neighbors is being terrorized by these black thugs. It's not white supremacies that's destroying the black community. It's these black thugs. But these so-called preachers, because he's not a real preacher in my opinion, they never talk about that. They never talk about holding these black thugs accountable. They never talk about holding black men accountable for not raising their children. They never talk about that. I never hear that at a church sermon in a black church like this, especially at a place like Atlanta. But he's gonna sit there and sell them victimhood. That's what he's doing. That's what they used to do back in the day on the plantations. Is they'll bring a so-called black preacher and use the gospel to deceive these people and sell them their victimhood to comply with the Democrats, to comply with their slave master. That's exactly what's going on. This is the same old playbook. Nothing has changed on how they operate over there on the left in the Democratic Party. Wow, this is shameful.
White people are sick of the black people. Everybody.
You said sick of dogs on them? What'd you say?
I said that white people are sick of the blacks. Did you know that there were, I think, something like 4,000 black-owned slaves, blacks who own slaves?
4,000 blacks who own slaves?
In Kentucky or one of those areas.
What source is that? No, what's your source?
You didn't know that?
No,
huh?
What's the source?
All your little black supremacy book. You didn't look that up.
No.
You believe that racism exists?
Yes.
And what is racism?
So racism is the unfair treatment of one group of people based on their race, or the belief that one group of people is inferior solely based off their race. So
you are racist for believing that black people are superior to others?
For saying that we have superior resilience.
Are you a racist for believing that black people are superior to all other races, you said?
No, I'm not racist.
But you just said that was racism.
No, I said
white people are sick of the black.
Yo, Jesse is the greatest troll ever. This guy, he'll be shocked if he ever finds out that it was black people that actually sold slaves to the white people. He's going to be shocked, because if he's shocked that black people own slaves in America, he's going to be in utter disbelief that it was Africans that sold other Africans to the white man. Hilarious. These people are clueless. And he just literally contradicted himself. I mean, look at the book. If a white man was sitting there doing an interview with a book that says white supremacy, they would label him as a racist. Point blank and period. There would be no debate about that. But for some reason, it is okay for black people to be openly racist. I mean, look at this. Black supremacy. The book literally just says black supremacy on there. The double standards is outrageous.
You guys want to know why the black community hates me so much? Because I call them out on their fucking bullshit. They think, well, bro, you black, man. You black, you shouldn't be saying this stuff. Sometimes. Some people look at me as black, others don't. It doesn't matter. I look at reality as what it is. I don't care about my skin color. I just know what it is. You get away with saying ridiculous shit as a black person that's absolutely racist and bigoted with no fucking consequence in America. This chick literally is on social media as a mainstream political commentator. MSNBC is mainstream as it can get. Okay? Saying, I like when white men cry. Could you imagine if Sean Hannity went on fucking Instagram and said, I love it when black women cry?
Facts.
Bro, they would give that nigga the fucking...
Cold punch!
Gone! Within 24 hours.
Facts.
But this fucking bitch is able to sit there and say, I want white man tears. People like Tariq Nasheed can practice open black supremacy with zero consequence and blame everything on white supremacy. If it was really white supremacy as you claim, why are you still on YouTube? Why are you still having your bank accounts? Why are you able to sit there and bitch about reparations all day? Is it really white supremacy? Because I'll tell you this, if you want to see who rules over you, figure out who you can't criticize, and we know who that is. That's why when I told your dumbass, Tariq Nasheed, talk about that, people, what'd your dumbass say? Oh, I ain't about to crash out. I ain't about to crash out. Yeah, motherfucker, because you know who really runs shit. And your wife is one of them. So don't fucking sit here and cry about white supremacy when we know who really runs shit. The only reason this stupid bitch is able to run around and say white tears is because white people don't really run shit like you think they do. If she said, I want them boys tears, she'd be on a fucking plane to Tel Aviv within 24 hours. Her dumb ass would have a yarmulke on at Auschwitz in Poland, nigga, and they'd be telling her, hey, you can't be saying this shit. Don't fucking sit there and tell me white supremacy. There's no such thing. There's no such thing. I would argue that black supremacy is far more potent and far more outreaching in the United States than white supremacy. I see motherfuckers running around saying black power all day. Wakanda forever all day. All day. I say BLM riots all day. When's the last time you bitch ass niggas seen a Klan rally? You haven't, have you? Yeah. So don't sit there and tell me white supremacy, systemic racism. These niggas are wearing white hoods and they still don't fucking show up anymore. Meanwhile, your dumbasses are burning down cities with your faces out. BLM, woo! George Floyd, woo! Black supremacy is far more pervasive, widespread, ubiquitous, and damaging than white supremacy. I fucking said it.
All facts.
Because you motherfuckers can be racist openly with zero consequence. Every white nationalist I know is banned to fucking hell. Whether it's Jared Taylor, Richard Spencer, Nick Fuentes, etc., they're gone. David Duke, gone. You can't find them anywhere. But I can find Dr. Umar Johnson's dumbass always on the Breakfast Club. I can see Tariq Nasheed's dumbass talking all over the fucking platforms. Let's talk facts. Let's talk facts. If it was really systemic racism and white supremacy, would you dumbass niggas be able to say the stupid shit that you say every single day on these radio stations? Get the fuck out of here, man. I'm cooking you niggas. And this is why all y'all are scared to debate me. Because you know I'm telling you the truth. I know who really runs this country. You do too. That's why you don't talk about them. You fucking cowards. If you're really about that life, I want you to go ahead and say, oh, I want to see those Jew tears. Let's see what happens. You'll never fucking do that shit. So shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. This goes to all these fucking BLM motherfuckers, all these FBA motherfuckers, all these reparation motherfuckers. Shut the fuck up. Stop making excuses, because you motherfuckers are the biggest racists in 2025 and beyond. And I'm the only one with the fucking balls to call you dumbass niggas out, because everybody else is too scared of you motherfuckers. Call me the racist, call me the terrorist, call me the tether. Oh well, facts are facts. Doesn't matter who it comes from. Shut the fuck up. This is why every single one of you bitch ass niggas is scared to debate me.
Let that man cook. Let that man cook. He's 100% correct. That's why I showed you the clip that I played before his clip, was to prove that point to you. They can openly be racist with zero consequences. And here's the thing. Here's the biggest problem with some of the people in the black community, right? Because they're going to say, oh, you're generalizing all black people. You know exactly who I'm talking about. Some of those black people have more of an allegiance to their skin color than they do righteousness and being in a civilized society. That's why when you call out any type of degenerate behavior, whether it be bad music, just degrading stuff, especially in the entertainment side, when you call that stuff out, people will say, sometimes they'll say, oh, well, stop talking about black people. You're talking about our culture. You're racist to black people. When in reality, they will agree with you that behavior, people like Sexy Red and all the stuff that they say in their music, it is objectively just bad. I mean, they can't deny that. But they can't let their allegiance to her skin color go. Because you can't criticize anybody that's black, especially if they're up there in the upper echelon, right? If they're a prominent black entertainer, you can't criticize them no matter what, unless they're black conservative. Especially if they're black conservative, you can definitely criticize them. But if it's in a black conservative, is not going to do anything like that whatsoever. But if you were to call out that behavior, their allegiance to the skin color supersedes to the fact that they cannot just sit there and objectively say that what they're doing is wrong. And that's the biggest problem. And that's the reason that there's this clash, right? Between, I call it the niggas, and you got black folks. You got civilized black people, and then you got the niggas. And it's just like civilized white people and the rednecks. It's the same thing. It's the huge clash. We do not mix. They make our community look horrible. They destroy our communities. If you look at where most of the violence and most of the stuff that is dangerous that occurs to black people happens, it is mostly in a black neighborhood, perpetuated onto them by another black individual that we do not tend to hold accountable because of what? Racism. Oh, well, because of their past experiences and, racism that happened 200, 300, 400 years ago. That's the reason that they have to rob, steal, and kill to survive today in America. That is the most idiotic thing I've ever heard in my entire life. And one of the other ideas that they hold core to their heart is that they believe that black people can't be racist. These people like Tariq Nasheed and Dr. Umar has said it. He's came out and said it himself that black people can't be racist because black people don't hold the power in America, which is the most idiotic concept ever. There's no power dynamic necessary for somebody to be racist unto somebody else because of their skin color. You can literally just hate somebody because of their skin color, and you do not have to have any power over them whatsoever. But for some reason, certain black people believe that just because they're the minority in this country, that they can't be racist, even when they're blatantly being bigoted. So it's the most ass backwards idiotic thinking I've ever seen, especially when it comes down to these black supremacists like Tariq Nasheed and Dr. Umar and all these people that he named. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Hit the like button if you did. And of course, if you are brand new, consider hitting subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.